בוקרשט חביבי חיים משוגעים בוקרשט it's the time of your life בוקרשט את עצמנו נשכח איך כל פעם מתרגש מחדש.
Good morning, Boker Tov, and welcome to Climbing the Ladder, Career Success Stories of Israeli Women. Although my slide says Arthur Rolnick, I'm actually Adrienne Rolnick, and I'm proud to serve as the president of JNF Greater Washington, as well as chairing today's event. If this is your first time at a Jewish National Fund USA event, we are especially glad that you are here with us. You may know JNF from planting trees and making the desert bloom, but we are so much more. From agricultural research farms in the Galilee to shovel-ready housing projects for young families in the Negev and the Galilee, our portfolio of work falls into 7 strategic areas that directly strengthen the future of Israel and support the land and people. Research and development, water solutions, heritage site preservation, education and advocacy, forestry and green innovations, community building, disabilities, and special needs. For more than 5 years, I have been privileged to serve on the Go North Task Force, a newer counterpart to JNF's extremely successful Blueprint Negev, which focuses on the South. Both are considered Israel's periphery and critical to the aspirations of young Israelis who are building their families and lives in the more wide open and less expensive areas of Israel. The Lauder Employment Center opened 5 years ago in Beersheba, and you will learn about its work and success. Today also marks the opening of the Lauder Center in the north, housed opposite the waterfront in Akko in Western Galilee. I am so inspired by the visionary work that JNF is doing to create opportunities for employment, housing, medical care, education, and tourism in the north, all of which animate my enthusiasm and my financial support for Go North. Today's event is organized by our Greater Washington's Women for Israel Steering Committee under the leadership of Dr. Penny Buston, whom you will meet shortly. Women for Israel is a dynamic group of female philanthropists who share a passion for building a prosperous future for the land and people of Israel. We are nearly 60,000 strong and account for approximately 25% of JNF's total giving. Thank you to those who have already made your gifts to the 2021 campaign, which started October 1st. If you haven't done so, I ask that you please make a meaningful gift today. If you have already made your gift and feel inspired by today's program and you are inclined to do more, we welcome the opportunity for you to increase your giving. I will now turn it over to Penny Buston.
Good morning. Thank you, Adrienne. I'm honored to serve as chair of the Women for Israel of Greater Washington. We are so very excited to bring you this terrific program connecting us to JNF's work and how it's changing the lives of Israeli women by boosting employment and opening the door to career opportunities through the Lauder Employment Center in the South in Beersheba. This Beersheba Center has been so successful that now today, a second Lauder Employment Center is opening in the north in Akko. I have the pleasure of introducing our key speakers for today. Tamar Gil, Deputy Director of the Lauder Employment Center, and Michal Shiloah Galnoor, CEO of Western Galilee Now. Tamar Gil grew up in Norway and New York City, the daughter of a diplomat. She served in the Israeli Air Force, has an MBA in social leadership from Ben Gurion University, and for the past 6 years has worked for Eretz Ir, a nonprofit in Beersheba that attracts young people to the Negev and the Galilee by helping to create cities with involved residents who take personal and collective responsibility for creating solutions to local challenges. One of these solutions is providing high quality employment opportunities through the Lauder Employment Center. Tamar has shaped the partnership between Eretz Ir, the Jewish National Fund, and the Lauder Employment Center, started in 2015. Because of the success of the Negev's Lauder Employment Center, Tamar is leading the replication of this model in the North. Our second speaker, Michal Shiloah Galnoor, the CEO of Western Galilee Now, was born, fifth generation, in Jerusalem. Michal has a BEA in International Affairs from Hebrew University, as well as degrees in public relations, project management, and nutrition. Her CV includes owning a fashion boutique in Ramat HaSharon, 5 years as an assistant to the CEO and spokeswoman at Motorola Israel, also running her own successful PR company, and being in the marketing business, and more. In 2011, Michal was approached by a group of local tour guides and business owners who asked her to help them promote tourism in the Western Galilee. She fell in love with both the people and the idea, eventually becoming the CEO of Western Galilee Now. In 2012, Michal met JNF USA representatives for the first time, and today Western Galilee Now is a proud affiliate of JNF and has operated a JNF Western Galilee Tourist Information Center since 2016. This center is open 7 days a week, welcoming tourists from all over Israel and the world, hosting musical events and rotating art exhibitions featuring artists from all over the Galilee. If you have questions for our speakers during this program, please use the chat function and we'll answer your questions at the end of the program. Now, before we turn the program over to Tamar, please enjoy this short video.
The Lauder Center for Employment in the Negev is 5 years old and growing faster than ever, is packed every day with dozens of young job seekers as well as representatives of employment organizations, municipalities, and biotech and cyber companies.
The uniqueness of the Lauder Employment Center is in its model for networking, in the way that it became an overarching body bringing together all of the different employers in the Negev with thousands of young adults, with dozens of municipalities.
It's not enough that we are researching the Negev and bringing the best students from Israel here. We also want to keep them here. We want to keep our computer scientists here. We want to keep our engineers here. We want to keep our social workers here. And through the Lauder Center, we enable our students to find meaningful vocation, meaningful employment here in the South, and thus we really fulfill the dream of David Ben-Gurion in making the Negev flourish in all ways.
Hi, everyone. I am very, very excited to see you. I'm very excited to see some familiar faces. Mimi and Nancy Seth and Jill Gansler. I miss you guys. I'm waiting to come to the States. And in general, I'm so excited to have such a womanly group to speak with. And I mean, I speak with many Jewish National Fund groups, but this specifically was extremely important for me to prepare together with Megan, who works with me and is here today as well. So welcome. I very much hope that we will be able to answer all of your questions. So please feel free to send them over in chat and we will answer them as we go on. I am also extremely excited because today is November 15th, and this is the first day that the Lauder Employment Center in Akko is operating. We are now replicating this model, and I also would like to welcome Einat Katz-Sharoni. Einat, can you say hi to everyone? Oh, I think that we're screen sharing, so I'm not sure if everyone will see her wave, but Einat,
nice to meet you.
Einat is our director of the Lauder Employment Center in the north. I just want everyone to see her face. You'll be seeing a lot of her. Einat lives in Kibbutz Megiddo. She has a lot of experience in operating very diverse partnerships in social issues, working with young adults at risk, Israeli Arabs, and economic development, and how to utilize government resources. And we welcome you and thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So this is really a celebration today. The Lauder Employment Center, as the video said, is working very hard over the last 6 years to get more people to stay in the Negev by providing them with high quality job opportunities. And we work with all of the academic and the technical colleges in the area, and this is what we're going to do in the Galilee as well. But today we are here to talk specifically about women employment. Before Corona, women represented 47% of the workforce in Israel, which sounds like a great statistic because we're almost half of the population, but we have to remember that their status in the workforce is much lower than that of men because it's usually women who are working in part-time jobs. They're working in jobs with lower salaries, with unstable positions, and many of the women are working 2 jobs really because they are also being the main caretakers of the children. So today we're here to talk about how to improve women's status in the workforce. They have been particularly impacted negatively by COVID. They're more likely to have been laid off or furloughed, which is really stopping their career and jeopardizing their financial security. And the Lauder Employment Center is very, very proud to take part in improving specifically women's representation in the workforce, in addition to everything that we do with young adults in the Negev and now the Galilee. We will soon have a panel to talk about employment with 3 incredible change makers. We will talk about women in high tech. We will talk about women in engineering, and we will talk about female business owners, women business owners. And this is where I would like to introduce the panel. We will start with Michal Galnoor, the CEO of Western Galilee Now. She is my partner, and she will introduce herself and Western Galilee Now before I introduce the rest of the panel. Michal?
Thank you, Tamar. Thank you, everyone, for having us. Very proud to be affiliate of JNF. So as you heard a bit about Western Galilee Now, it's a grassroots organization, and it's actually a consortium of small businesses, mainly family businesses. A lot of them are owned by women, but we'll talk about that in a second. And the idea is that 40% of the population in this region, in the Galilee, are employed, depend on tourism as the source of employment. And a lot of them are actually run by the women. So JNF, when they put together the initiative of Go North, they realized that their first step needs to be employment and therefore tourism. We've been working together since. I'm sitting right now at the JNF Tourist Center in the heart of Akko, which is beautiful. If you haven't visited, you're very welcome, and I hope we'll be able to meet again soon. Why Akko? Why a tourist information center? Well, Akko actually enjoys a vast number of tourists, Israeli and foreign tourists, and most of them don't know what the opportunities of tourism are in the region. So we capture them here in this beautiful building with rotating exhibits and a lot of information and musical events. And then when they come, we'd let them know about the little museum up the road, the little dairy farm, the winemakers, the cheese makers, the wonderful stops that they can enjoy on their way. Why is it so important? So we can see over the years that as we grow with the affiliation of JNF, the number of our members grow and their employers grow. If they succeed, they employ more people, and that has an amazing ripple effect on the region. Thank you.
Toda Rabba Michal. The Lauder Employment Center is also going to strengthen the partnership with Western Galilee now through our new Jewish National Fund Small Business Association, which we are now starting to develop. This was an initiative that started during COVID-19 when Jewish National Fund CEO Russell Robinson asked the Lauder Employment Center and Western Galilee now to see what the needs of small businesses are now that they're hit so hard during COVID, and how we can help them. So we're now, we finished the mapping, and we are now starting to work with municipalities in the Negev and with Michal Shiloah in the north in order to help small business owners. And it's incredibly important. You'll hear in a bit from Michal why specifically for women this is incredibly important. So our next two panelists, Ilana Ginsberg is an incredible long-time Lauder employment partner. Ilana is the Human Resource Director at Resilium, which is an international high-tech cybersecurity company working from the Cyber Park in Beersheba. As you know, Beersheba has become a cyber capital. And after working for 12 years in the Jewish agency, Ilana became a tech community builder. She creates partnerships, she organizes tech events, she does project management, budget management, and so much more. Ilana is also a member of the Beersheba City Council for over a decade, and she now chairs Women's Empowerment Committee in Beersheba. So I think that this in itself is wonderful. And in her spare time, she's also a mother of 4. So this is really a superwoman. And before introducing the last panelist, Sheila, I want to tell you about one of the Lauder Employment Center's flagship programs, and that's our internship program. It is a very important program in keeping young adults in the Negev following graduation. Beersheba teaches, or we have about 50% of engineers in Israel study in Beersheba. The problem is that the minute that they finish school, they leave the Negev because they don't believe that they can find a job here. The reason is that a lot of employers say that they don't want to take someone straight out of college. They want someone with experience. So the Lauder Employment Center really wanted to tap specifically into this pool of young adults who are so motivated to find their first job and get them a job in Beersheba. And that is why we went to employers and we told them, listen, we will subsidize 2 months of salary for these wonderful people. And I have to say that amazing partners such as Jill Gansler are making this possible specifically. And it's a great opportunity to say thank you again, because we are enabling young adults that just finished college, stay in the Negev. We find them incredible jobs in engineering. And today, this 4th cohort of engineers is the first time that we are very, very close to having 50% women in the engineering scholarship program fellowship. So really engineering is not a profession that many women go into, and that is why it was very important to us to have Shira Chaziz Turjuman join us today. Shira was born and raised in Arad, which is a small town, about 27,000 residents in the Eastern Negev. Shira today lives in Beersheba. She studied architectural engineering and interior design at the Technological College in Beersheba. And this last August, she started the internship program with the Lauder Employment Center. She is today interning at an architecture studio in Beersheba. So we're very excited to learn from her experience, and we will open the panel in a second. The second lockdown in Israel began on Rosh Hashanah, and it is still partially in effect. Not all businesses are open yet. We still can't have more than 10 people in a closed room, more than 20 people in an open room, in an open area. And also it has horrible effects on the economy as happens everywhere in the world. In Israel, 2/3 of the unemployed in this lockdown are women. And this figure continues to showcase the trend that Corona unemployment hurts women more. It also corresponds to another characteristics of those unemployed because of Corona, because these are also the people who work in low salary jobs. Today, there's a total of 940,000 people unemployed, about 17% unemployment rates, and 56% of the unemployed are women. The pandemic has intensified a lot of challenges that women already faced. Working mothers have always worked a double shift. And now the support that has made this possible, including schools and childcare, and even parents to babysit while the mothers are at work, all of these have been disrupted. When women step out of the workforce, whether it's because they were laid off or furloughed, or even if they stepped off voluntarily because they said, I can't have my 3 children on Zoom for school at home and still go to work, these women are more likely to stay out of the workforce longer than men. More than 1 in 4 women, and this is not just in Israel, this is also in the States, are now thinking about downshifting their careers and leaving the workforce completely. And companies risk losing women in leadership, undoing years of progress towards gender diversity. So this kind of opens the first question for the panel, and I will address it to Ilana. Ilana, if you could talk to us a little bit about the status of women in employment. And sorry, in high tech. Sorry.
High tech. Sure. But first of all, I need to tell that I so appreciated the Lauder Center and the investment they make into turning the Negev into a place with a strong job market. I'm a part of the Lauder HR Forum, and I say this with a lot of pride. It has given me so many opportunities for professional development and knowledge sharing, and I feel like I have been able to give it back to the forum as well. I think that the Lauder Center in Beersheba is a source of light in the area and helping to make economic development in the Negev a possibility. It was very important for me to tell. So what's the status of women in high tech? If you look at the statistics, 35% of high-tech workers are women. You can say, how great, this is so much more than before. But keep in mind that 35 includes HR, administration, and assistance roles. There are female programmers and high-tech professionals, but the situation is not so great. I suggest that we look at the team leaders, managers, and programmers. There are many fewer women. For example, take computer science degrees. There are around 50% women and 50% men. In master's degree in computer science, you begin to see many fewer women. And by the time you get to PhD in computer science, there are hardly any women at all. We must start putting women in key positions in high-tech industry. This 35% isn't really development, and we still have a long, long way to go.
I am muted. Toda Rabba, Ilana. Michal, let's talk a little bit about family businesses, small businesses, and specifically how tourism and small businesses are connected to women in employment.
Okay, so as I said, 40% of the population here depends on tourism because we don't have many job opportunities. A lot of people moved to the north or stayed in the north and reinvented themselves. There's a lot of entrepreneurship. People follow their dreams and open a winery or restaurants. But actually, a lot of times, even if the artist is a male, like some of you might know Danny Calderon, the one that runs the business at the end of the day, if I look at all our members, is the woman. A lot of them are family businesses, and by having the children, as you said, Tamar, it's hard maybe working and having kids. The kids grow within the business, and then they also follow their parents. So you can see 3 generations working together. It's quite amazing. So we have a lot of these examples. One of them I actually wanted to bring forward to you. It's at the Alto Dairy Farm. The cheesemaker is Ariel, and the 4 children who are over the 20s and 30s work at the dairy farm where they produce, and then on regular days, they also have a restaurant. but the one who really runs the show is Yonat. So maybe we'll watch a short video. Thank you, Mark.
Hello, my name is Yonat. Welcome to Alto Dairy. It's a family boutique dairy and coffee bar too. We produce all our products, all the cheese are from goat milk only. Welcome to Alto.
Thank you. So this was just one example. I wanted also to give just a small other information. Our region is very multicultural. As you might know, we live here Jews, Muslims, Druze, Christians together. And actually for a lot of the Druze, for example, families, the woman can't go out and work. So a lot of them host at home. There's a lot of home cooking classes, a lot of lunch you can have with the owner of the home, and you work together, making your vine leaves, stuffed vine leaves, and then sit together and talk. And this has actually helped a lot of these women become more powerful, be able to send their children to university, and a lot of social mobilization has happened because of these tourism examples. And they usually also, if they have a group on regular days, not on COVID times, all the women in the village come and work and help them. And it's actually fascinating to see the effect of the women, the strong women here in the region.
Thank you, Michal. In the study that we did about small businesses just now in July, we found that a lot of the times the problem with small business owners is that I'll say it differently. There's difficulty in transportation in the north, okay? It's very hard to get from one spot to the next. Most families, other than the better, the mid or high class families, don't have two cars. And so a lot of the times it's the women who stay at home caring for the children because they can't leave, whether they're from Jewish families or from Druze or Muslim or Christian families in villages. And a lot of the times that's why the small businesses are so connected to the locality, to the village itself, to all of the people around them. And that is only another reason to support small businesses in the Galilee and the Negev in general. Because it's usually the women who are left at home looking for both how to bring in money, but also how to fulfill themselves. Shira, can you take us into the engineering world and tell us a little bit about yourself? Why did you study engineering? What's unique about being a woman in engineering?
So I think this is, I'm sorry, I'm very excited to speak here. I think that there is not a lot of women in engineering because they a bit afraid that is a men's territory, that they won't fit to the hours and the places that there are a lot of men in these places. So I think it's unique to study that because you're doing something that you like and you interested in, and doing your, I just מגשימה את החלום.
She fulfills the dream.
Yeah, that's the word. When I started my internship, I met a lot of women like me, a lot of young moms that didn't give up to the stigma, and it makes me feel very happy and I'm sorry, and benoach, and
comfortable, at ease.
Comfortable in those places with women like me.
Wonderful. And what's it like to now work in an architecture firm? How many women are in this firm?
Actually, in my office, we are the most, and it's, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So it's I'm sorry. I'm just a little confused right now.
It's all good.
I will speak in Hebrew. אז במשרד שלנו אנחנו הרוב, וזה לא משהו שציפיתי לו בזמן הלימודים, שסביבי היו יחסית הרבה גברים, וזה מאוד שימח אותי שנכנסתי לשם ושהרגשתי שיש עוד נשים כמוני, ושהן לא מוותרות על החלום שלהן בגלל דעה קדומה.
Okay. So Shira is saying that in her architecture firm, there's actually a majority of women, which was really surprising to her because coming out of her studies, it was mostly men around her. And she was sure that that's what's going to happen. But instead, she's with many women around her. And it really makes her happy to see that many of them did not fall into this perception of what does it mean to be an engineer? You have to be a man for that. That's wonderful. It's really one of the I think, beautiful developments. And we see that in engineering becoming, I mean, the more designers and architectures that you have in these fields, you can see more and more women coming in. Ilana, how do we get more women to get into high tech and into more senior positions in high tech?
Okay. In order for the numbers to go up, I think that we must change our point of view on the high-tech field. I know that a lot of women won't even consider high-tech because of the stigma that it's a masculine field with long work hours and heavy investment, and that it's hard to find a work-life balance. I think that's a bubble, I think that this is a bubble that we have created, stigmas. So I think that we can burst the bubble. For example, Corona has made it possible to work from home, and this has created more possibilities for women to participate in the high-tech field. I think that our state of mind needs to change. If we are not finishing our work in 7 or 8 hours a day, we are not working efficiently. It means something there is not working. I firmly believe that if women were to run the world, the thing would be run much more efficiently. We simply have to make the change happen in order to get more women into high tech. We must do better hasbana at universities, but the change really must start in preschool and even in the kindergarten. I'll give you a simple example. My oldest daughter, Leah, she's 14, and she's in the honor science and math class. You know, now everyone is studying on Zoom all day, so I can hear what's going on during her classes. So during math and science, I hear only the boys talking. So I ask myself, Is it really only the boys who understand? So I asked my daughter, and she explained me that girls, if they don't know, they once say that they don't know. And we are in 2020, and girls still prefer not to speak up. So we are seeing things start to change, but we must remember that the same girls from kindergarten or first grade can be in every field. They can be in HR or social work or education, and they can be also in engineering and high tech. So we have to get rid of thinking in gender roles. Girls can be whatever they want. Have women in high tech talk to school kids about their work. Be a personal example. This is how a corrected world needs to look. Have a female high-tech manager talk about her experience. It always bothers me when we talk about work-life balance and parenting only about women. We are still very far from where we want to be. But women are very efficient and successful and strategic, and we need to give us the chance to be in the key positions. It's the only way.
I completely agree, and I think that it's with women, the more women that we'll see in high tech and engineering, then their daughters can see them working in high tech and engineering, and that will create a change. We see that in our programming. I think that the women who are already mothers in our programming, in the Lauder Center, in the internship programs, in programming boot camps, you see the drive. It's just, they come from a different place from men. Shira, what do you think that we need to do in order to get more women into engineering?
I think that, like Ilana said, we need to take the I will speak in Hebrew. I'm very sorry. אני חושבת שמגיל צעיר הם צריכים להבין שאין מקצוע שהוא נשי או גברי, ובאמת להוריד את אותם סטיגמות.
שנייה, רגע, תני לי רק את זה להבין. From a very young age, you need to make sure that people understand that there's no female job and male jobs or professions. It needs to be something that's stigma-free and gender-free.
לאפשר להם להיחשף למקצועות האלה מגיל מאוד צעיר, אם זה בתיכון כבר, או אפילו לפני.
We also need to introduce them to these professions in a much earlier stage. And I can say that a lot of the programming that we're thinking about doing at the Lauder Center is exactly this, how to change stigma by taking young adults, whether they're still in high school, to do tours in different companies, to see the employees in these companies, really start to encourage them to think differently about various professions.
זה בעיניי עניין של באמת שינוי מחשבה, שהוא פשוט, זה הבסיס להכל. אני חושבת שגם עם הדורות זה משהו שהוא משתנה לטובה. וזה מאוד משמח.
This is what needs to be changed first and most of all is perception. It's just about changing the way that people think about it. And also Shira says that with the generations, this is also changing for the better. So we can be optimistic about coming generations. Michal, how do we help specifically women business owners and entrepreneurs? How is it different from working with male business owners?
I don't think it's different. I think it's just giving the skills. In Western Galilee now, we do a lot of training. We allow all the members to join if it's social media or putting together a business plan, and the fact that they're part of an organization and that they see other people succeeding also helps them put new agendas and new places to thrive. And cooperations are amazing. We actually have two businesses which are a co-op of women. One is an artist gallery, for example, that 10 women decide to get together. Every day someone else opens the gallery, and just giving a lot of marketing skills, putting a business plan together, and showing people that they can. I think what everyone else said here, personally, I'm here, it's 6 o'clock and almost 6 o'clock in the evening, and my husband has been with the girls since they finished school today. It's a 50-50 life, the way we lead it. I feel that we have this opportunity here in the Galilee. One of our reasons to leave Tel Aviv and move here 14 years ago and make our home and grow our children is because we feel the balance and equality is much, we have the option to be more equal in our way of living, and we share our work and our partnership in raising our kids. And I always feel, I have two girls, 11 and 5, and I always feel that the example I give them will be the way they will, lead their life. One of them told me the other day that if she won't be a vet and she won't be a kindergarten teacher, she'll run Western Galilee now after. So, and I think that sums it up. And I think that's what we try to do also with our members, showing them that it's not a non-issue, making it a non-issue, trying to, you have a dream, you can do it, follow your dream. Doesn't matter if you're male or female, and just, you're a person, it doesn't matter what your religion is, doesn't matter what your gender is, people are people, just, you can do it. And we help in every possible way, anything that is needed. And just to make it clear that I have 7 staff people, until 6 months ago, they were all women. Now I finally have 1 male, and good luck for him working with all of us. So.
It's pretty much the same here at the Lauder Center, minus the 1 male. We're all women. Okay, so we haven't got questions in the chat. Does anyone want to jump in and ask a question? We're very, very happy to open this up.
So Tamar, I have a question. It's Diane. How are you all? Thank you. And you all are the most incredible women role models. And it just brings me so much pleasure to see the incredible work you're all doing. But I do want to say that at least, in my world, there still remains at times, gender inequality in the workforce in every field. And I'm just wondering, because you guys have done such a great job, if you could speak to a little bit more of the psychological and emotional support systems that you all provide, because as women, we sometimes, even though we don't want to admit it, come to the workforce with some insecurities. And I think that we're now more open about discussing those insecurities. And I'm wondering if you could just sort of speak to, again, the support system you all provide. Thank you.
So Ilana, I think that this is, as a human resource director, I think this is a question that you can answer best. If you can unmute yourself just. How do you support the women around you so that they will have more guts, more ability to blend, to work hard, to feel comfortable in their surrounding and not be intimidated?
First of all, we always try to help to our employees, women, okay, to be in the key positions. Okay, it's very important for us. And we have 4 working moms at our company in Be'er Sheva, and they always are more than welcome to work from home, to work in hours that it's works for them. Early in the morning, in the evening, we really okay with all the decisions, and I think that it always works.
I can tell you, but with the Lauder Employment Center, first of all, many human resource directors are women. Now, this is usually a VP position, so it's a very high up position in the companies, and it's usually women. It's a very lonely position to be in. So just the fact that we have a human resource network for these managers to work with each other, and again, it's almost all women, that in itself, I think is a message that we're trying to act out. With what Ilana said about allowing for remote employment, now during COVID, I think that many companies finally understood something that we were talking about for many years, and that's allow your employees to work remotely, allow them to decide for themselves. We just had a survey come out. We just put out a survey and we found out that there's 30% of companies in the center and in the Negev that are saying now that they're already willing to start remotely employing people. And in Israel, this didn't happen much, or they're now starting to consider it. So we already have now a pool of 60% of the companies who are finally starting to open the way that they think. I can also say that there's various companies that are trying to open kindergartens in the vicinity itself so that mothers can come and work there. It's not happening a lot because it's a very big operation, but there's more and more talk of this in order to allow for it to happen.
There are companies, sorry Tamar, there are companies that they are paying for the babysitter. There are a lot of opportunities to find.
Wonderful. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you very much. That was a great explanation and gives us high hopes to see how you're going to continue to launch this really incredible program. And kol hakavod to the North for today's opening, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Really incredible.
I have a question. I heard, thank you all for your wonderful presentation. I was hearing a lot talked about in terms of like, particularly for young girls as the former educator. I wanted to know, are there initiatives geared towards mentorship? Having some of these women leaders mentoring, particularly around middle school and high school age, to start forming that identity relationship so that those girls can have a role model to look up to. These are the people they're gonna be texting in the middle of the night when they feel like giving up.
This is a wonderful, wonderful question. Just as a question, it's very touching. I can say that I know that there are many social initiatives, many nonprofits in Israel working towards women empowerment. It can happen in the general population, it can happen in the Arab population or in the ultra-Orthodox population. But specifically, I can say that our work, the Lauder Center, we still don't work with high school or middle school girls, because we focus on young adults at that stage when they decide what to do with their lives, where to settle down, where to work. But if it's okay with you, if anyone else has an answer, then you can just jump in. But if not, I will be very happy to kind of look for other initiatives and just send it to you maybe later on to see what's, what kind of initiatives. I can tell you that I have friends working for nonprofits that definitely do mentorship for women. In our internship program, we have mentors who are women mentoring the interns, such as with Sheila and her mentor.
Thank you.
I have a question. This is Penny Buston. And I'm curious to know whether at the college level, the entry college level, sort of building on Elaine's question, are there job fairs at which the Lauder centers can go? Is there an outreach to beginning college students or going through the college years so that by the time they get to graduation, they have maybe a better grasp of what can help them?
Yes, thank you for this question, Penny. Yes, absolutely. So first, we take part in many job fairs with many different colleges around the Negev. Ilana can attest to how many times she goes to job fairs in order to tell them what Brazilian can offer, what kind of jobs they have, etc. There's seven colleges in the Negev, including Ben Gurion University. We have many spotlight events about different jobs. During COVID, we did many webinars for specific employers to say what kind of positions they have. We had a specific three-part webinar about jobs in cyber that we had really hundreds of people come to because they really wanted to see, and this is geared towards college students. We also have an occupational or a career psychologist at the Lauder Employment Center to help students in colleges choose what they want to do and things like that. And we also offer guidance to colleges themselves, to career services, service departments in colleges in order for them to be able to minimize dropout rates, to know how to better guide their, or really see when there's a problem with a specific student. We have career courses, career prep courses, how to go to an interview, how to write your CV, how to prepare for one. All of these things are helping them think ahead to the day that they finish college, including courses in how to improve. For example, we have now a joint program with the absorption department of Beersheba municipality, helping students who came from the former Soviet Union to have better Hebrew skills in jobs, so that when they finish their engineering programming course or degree, they'll be able to more easily integrate into the job market. And all of these things that you do throughout college years help get them on board, help keep them from dropping out, and really help them even imagine the day after.
What do your graduates in your program or the students in the current program tell you what finally of all your efforts really promoted them to go ahead with this?
I think that the things that are, we have, first of all, the internship program in general is our, it's the best program because it actually gets the people the job. Before Corona, I don't know what's going to be like for this cohort, Shira, I hope for the best. 90% of our interns got a full-time job offer from the place that they interned at, with 85% of the first 3 cohorts still working and living in the Negev because they found a job here. So that in itself is very helpful because they actually get on-job experience, they get mentoring when they start. It's basically a 2-month interview hands-on to show their skills and their abilities. And the second thing that our young adults that we work with find most helpful is the career courses. Help us guiding them hand in hand, how to prepare for an interview. Just last week I saw a young guy who works as a, what's the word in English? Security guard. I found it, a security guard. And he said, I went to find a job in Intel just as now as a student, and I suddenly realized I really need some direction because I came so unprepared. I came for the security guard position. Like, I'm a good guy, I have a good heart, I'm capable. But with Intel, you need to do it differently. So really this hand-in-hand course guidance, career guidance courses and mentoring is the most helpful.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are about 5 minutes until we need to finish. So I will say just one concluding word about the place of the Lauder Employment Center as I see it within Jewish National Fund, within Jewish National Fund's mission. I've been working with Jewish National Fund for the last 6 years, and it's unlike any other supporter of Israel, in the sense that JNF really puts all of its resources into making the quality of life of young people, of young families, of people with disabilities, just a better quality of life in the Negev and in the Galilee, so that people can just choose where to live, just like Michal did, and choose to live in the Galilee because it can offer a great quality of life. And for that, Jewish National Fund is taking care of housing options, of improving infrastructure, parks, the amphitheaters, medical centers, which you can't live without if you live far away from the center of the country. Really, Jewish National Fund is taking care of everything that you need in your day-to-day life. But then employment is really this number one factor in choosing where to live, because if you can't pay your bills, then really all the rest doesn't matter. So the Lauder Employment Center is Jewish National Fund's economic development arm for the Negev and for the Galilee, for Blueprint Negev to develop the Negev, for Go Northwest to develop the Western Galilee. And we are so, so proud and privileged to be able to carry out a mission that really touches the most basic needs of Israelis today. And during Corona, when so many, and for very good reasons, so many foundations and supporters had to look inward and help their communities, the fact that Jewish National Fund said, no, we're not giving up on economic development. Yes, now we're going to work with small businesses to make sure that they don't fall, because if they will, then 2 years from now, people will not have a job, et cetera, et cetera. This is incredible. And it's really thanks to each and every one of you. I think that you have a very in-depth understanding of social challenges and the needs in Israel. And as an Israeli, this means a lot to me that we can really bring out the I don't know, reality and talk to you guys about our everyday needs and mission here. So thank you very, very much. And I'm going to turn it back to Adrian.
Am I unmuted?
Yes, you're good.
Yes, I'm good. Okay. Thank you so much, Tamar, and all of our panelists today. Really a very inspiring and informative program. I also want to acknowledge Deb Zaluda, who is the chair of Go Northwest. I'm delighted that my colleague in this effort is on listening to today's program and can see so much of the impact that her good work has done. I think that, as Tamar said, you are beginning to see the impact of JNF's vision, efforts, and hard work that characterize all of JNF's partners. You may notice, and I think I have to be the one, let's see if I can get to be the speaker view. I don't know if you can see the necklace that I'm wearing, and we have a slide coming up that can show you, I hope, in just a minute. There we go. So I'm wearing the necklace, that's the tree with the sapphire, and mine now has some added diamonds. And that is in recognition of being a member of the Sapphire Society. And for those who are Circle of Sapphire members, there is this beautiful map of Israel embedded with diamonds. These are part of the levels, 5,000 and up, but there are other levels too, nationally recognized by Women for Israel in recognition of gifts to any JNF program, including, but of course not limited, to Go North. I hope that you will continue to join me in supporting JNF and are more informed and motivated now to really go ahead. Adam Tenen, our JNF professional, and I will be glad to help you explore your interests and answer your questions. Today you have met Tamar and Michal and others. We stand ready to introduce you to other JNF representatives of our programs and affiliates in Israel and to provide more information. Thank you for your time, your interest, and your support. Have a wonderful day.